Hello fellow Flosstubers, it's Patty here with episode 90. Today is January the 6th, 2020. On today's show I have whips and I have knitting, so sit back and relax. Grab your beverage of choice. I'm doing water today. Your craft of choice, and let's chat. How was everybody's week? Mine was really good. On the 1st, it was my 6th year podiversary, so I've been doing this now for 6 years. And I did take some time off here and there, and I have changed the format a little bit, where before it was mostly knitting and a little bit of stitching, and now it's mostly stitching and a little bit of knitting. I hope that you all like the changes. I do like to also show when I spin and when I crochet. So I like to craft and I like to share what I craft. And I also like to go back and look at the different things that's happened. I realized on that first year I was sick and had the surgery towards the end of the year, so it's been 6 years since they discovered I had diverticulitis and that I was very ill from it. So yeah, I am grateful that they figured that out finally after a couple of years of being sick for quite a while. I just wish I had kept the weight off that I had lost from the surgery, the diverticulitis surgery. But that's okay. New year, new me, losing weight and feeling good about myself. I also had a really great birthday. The little man's mom and dad bought me flowers, and it was so comical to see little man's reaction because he was here when they came. So he watched me unwrap them, and we have little chairs. We have a bench that we can sit on by the stove or the oven. No, the stove. So when the kids were young, I would cook pancakes and they would sit at the bar and I would flip pancakes to them, and that was the greatest thing. So now little man sits there and he has his breakfast and lunch when he's here on Friday. And we have stools with backs underneath them. So he pulled that over, climbed up on it, and then could reach the countertop where the flowers were, and he had decided to touch every single one. So we touched the front, and then I turned them around so he could touch the back, and then he turned it around, and as he was turning it around again, when the flowers came out, and he looked at me, he looked at the basket, he looked at the flower, and I went, okay, I'll just take that, and I put it back in. Then he started touching them again, so he was okay once the flower was back in. That was funny. But we had a really good time. Hubby took me to dinner, and I got a lot of happy birthday wishes on Facebook and from my fellow Hufflepuff on the Hufflepuff chat. So thank you very much for all the happy birthday wishes. That made me feel very nice. Very nice indeed. So, shall we get on with the stitching? I think so. This is only my 3rd time trying this, so hopefully we will get through it and everything will be cool. My Mirror Monday last week was the last week of Christmas in London. I am stitching this on 32 count Opal Essence by Swigert. And I got some more of the curtain done. I got a lot more of the curtain done. I'm very happy with that. Let me bring it up so you can see. But yeah, I like how that curtain is turning out. So now it is off its Q-snap and going back in its bag until it gets called either for Wipgo or December. I'm hoping it gets called before December because I do want to work on these more than just once in a year. And then I pulled out Night Walked Down by Blue Flower. And this one I stitched on New Year's Eve for a little while when we got back from the coffee shop. Dinner with my in-laws. So as you see, I finished the black on the border over here, and I started on the top. Since I had the black, I just decided to keep working on it. This is 36 count Blue Smoke, I believe, by Zweigart. Smoke Blue, sorry, it's Smoke Blue. Close enough, right? Okay, and then we have the New Year, New Starts. And yes, starts. I went ahead and started two things on the 1st of January. The first thing I started was the Fairy Moon by Mirabilia. This was a gift from Joe, because I mentioned that I really wish I had bought it, and Joe sent it to me, which I appreciate, Joe. Thank you very, very much for that. And I worked on her hair. I used this project for an extra credit for the School of Magical Stitches. And it was for a moon. So since there's a moon there, that one was for moon. And then I used it to help open up the ticket booth. You had to do 125 stitches for everybody to open up the ticket booth. So I did. I am part of the Grand Floridian Hotel. And my thought was to only work on the community stitches. So I will be working on what everybody else is working on. I may do extra credit, which I am doing this month. And I don't feel like doing homework, so I probably won't, because I'm already counting enough. And there's so many levels to School of Magical Stitches this time that I'm okay with just working on the opening, we are taking back the park from the villains, in a sense. So in the year, we have to stitch all these stitches to take the park back. So that's what we're doing. So I also, on the 1st, started Baker's Wife by Mirabilia. This was my Christmas present from my grandmother. And I did quite a bit on this because I did a lot of different stitching for this. I used this to help open up the monorail system and to help open up the ferry system. So I got lots and lots of stitches done. And there were a couple of other small ones that I can't remember, but that is where that's at. And this one is being stitched on, let me get the paperwork here. This one's being stitched on 32 count Ren by Picture This Plus. So I thought I would share this really quickly. I bought these little bags, sorry, a long time ago to put my floss in. So all the floss is in there, and I make a copy of my key. So there's the floss key, and then I also put what fabric, and then I tape it to the outside, and that way I can always find the information I want to give you guys. It's a lot easier to find. So that was, and I worked on Baker's Wife for Wednesday, Thursday, and a little bit on Friday. So Saturday went back to Fright Night, and that was charted by Gecko Rouge. Here's Fright Night. And I stitched 500 stitches for helping to open Cinderella's castle. And to help open Cinderella's castle, you have to do 2,000 stitches. And this one is a year-long one. So, and it takes probably over 2,000 stitches for each person to open it up. So I'm going to go back and forth on this. So this is the one, I have two projects that I'm going to use for Cinderella's castle. But here we are. I got 500 stitches done on that. So very happy with that, coming right along. And this is 25 count Easy Guide 1/1. And then I had another new start. I was looking at some black, there's a black work called Peppermint Purple, and she's doing coming out with a new clue every week, and so it's really cute little black work. So here's where I started. This is 18 count oatmeal, and the floss is 4507, and then I'm also using my Cosmo Black. So here's the thread. And I was really happy with how that turned out. So I thought that's cute. And it only took maybe an hour. I don't even think it took an hour. I think it maybe took like a half an hour. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. I was waiting to see if the new clue was coming out, but it hasn't yet. So I'm not sure if she's going to be doing it every Wednesday. Somebody's car's going off. Or how she's going to do that, but it has not come out yet. And the final thing I worked on this week is Tilton Crafts Up on the Rooftop. I'm also, like I said, I'm using this also for opening up Cinderella's castle, and I got 500 stitches on this as well. So I'm only going to post when I get 1,000 stitches. So on each of these, so hopefully next weekend I can do that. I'll get 1,000 stitches for another 500. So I'm starting Santa. There he is. He looks much better on the camera than he does in real life. But there is the top of Santa. And I think there's like one more square, and then that's page 3. So that is really exciting. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Very, very, very happy. Because these are easier to count. And I think that using these for my community stitching is going to be a lot better. But I will have to wait and see if I still feel that way in the middle. I did sign up for Enchanted Stitching challenges because I watched a video. I can't remember which video I watched now. She talked about it and said that there's timed stitching also. So the lowest level of they have 3 different levels. You could count different stitches to be different in the different levels, but the lowest level is a timed one. So you work for half an hour, you take a picture. That sounds much better to me. I would rather have timed than counted because I would rather stitch than count. So I'm just crazy like that, I guess. I'm just crazy like that. So that was all the stitching last week and knitting. I thought I would show you the blanket again. So I haven't done that in a while, and I'm probably going to show you every time I change a color. So this is the Wave of Light Baby Blanket by Marianne's Lazy Daisy Days. I am using a mandala, Lion Brand mandala in the Spirit colorway. So there's the colors. And here it is. So I just started adding a light blue. And that's where I was the last time you saw it. And here I am now. It's going to be a little baby blanket, but I like it. It feels nice and soft. So this is a US 7 4.5 millimeter. And it is a 4-row repeat, the easiest thing to stitch on when you're tired and watching TV. So that is when I work on this. And it's living in my exploding TARDIS bag that I picked up at the last SSK I went to. So that makes me very happy. All right. Looking around, I don't have a lot of anything else to talk to you guys about. I do want to put in here that Wipgo is going well, but I think trying to do 2,000 stitches on these projects a month is a little bit much for me, because I'm trying. I know that Jessie said we had a year to do it, but if I'm only pulling them out for when it is called, or the month, or for its month, I don't think I'm going to be able to do 1,000 stitches. So I may have to reevaluate that number. So maybe I will try to work on it maybe 6 days a year. If I work on them 6 days a year, that should give me a lot. And I'm thinking that that might be what I do. But I need to talk to the group. So what would you suggest? Because that's a lot of stitching. It's a lot of stitching, plus trying to keep up with School of Magical Stitches and all of the other ones I have over here, because I want to keep involved. I want to be involved more. I say I want to do it, and then I never post my pictures. I post them in Magical School of Stitches, but I don't post them in Stitch Mania and all the other places I should be posting them. And I really should, because groups are fun. These stitch-alongs are fun, and I do enjoy them. But I don't know. Now I'm just rambling. Sorry. All right, looking around, I don't have anything else to tell you guys. So I hope that you guys have a great week, and I hope that whatever you craft it to your heart's content, and I will see you next week.